Just forgot the word.
It's ches. Ches, that's
Excuse me?
ches. Yeah, that's ches.
I know, but I think I can't remember the word.
Uh,
Zion. Okay, but Zion. I couldn't get it out.
that's
Okay,
actually
so
ches, but cool.
I'm sorry. It's eight. No, it's eight. I'm sorry. That's because I'm staring at this thing.
Wait, hold on. Did I get this wrong? Um, am I refreshing the wrong page? I'm on the wrong page. I beg your pardon. That's my bad.
There
Um,
is eight. Okay. Rebbe Eliezer says it may be taken from the clean for the unclean. How? Clean dough and unclean dough. It takes the measure of challah from the dough from which no challah has been taken and puts less than an egg's bulk in the middle in order that he take from that which is nearby, but the concomitant forbiddeth. One may eat a chance meal from the dough until it is rolled.
hmm. Okay, is it me or you? Okay, I've got internet. You don't. Okay. ما تنسى الساعات شوية كده بتاعك. والله خلينا بس نقعد ناس. تمام.
I don't know what happened. But yeah.
Okay, you're back with me. Great.
I just noticed that thing about the she in there all the time, but it's like I don't know if that would hold today, but anyway, okay.
Okay, basically I lost you until
Okay, all right. Should I do Gimel base then?
um Gimel Aleph actually because I lost you in the middle of Gimel Aleph.
Well, okay. One may eat a chance meal from the dough until it's rolled with wheat and until it has been kneaded into a cohesive lamp with barley. Once she has rolled out the wheaten or kneaded into a cohesive lump with that of the barley, one who eats of it is liable to the death penalty. As soon as she pours the water, she lifts off the challah, provided there are not five-fourths of challah there, flour there. If her dough became meduma because she rolled it, it is exempt because meduma is exempt. After she rolled it out, it is liable. If a doubt on the cleanliness arose before it be rolled, she rolled it out again. It may be unclean in maybe in uncleanliness, but after she rolled it out, it must be in cleanliness.
But basically,
Okay.
the summary of this is that when does the chiyuv of challah take hold?
Right.
If the chiyuv of challah took hold when the dough was still tahor, then the rest of the work still has to be done b'tara. But
Right.
if the doubt arose before the chiyuv came in, then it can be done b'tumah. Okay, Gimel. Hikdisha Isasa. So this we should be familiar with this in the next Mishnah, the principles from the Mishnah that we had in Peah, because the same Mishnah Dalet particularly is repeated verbatim in Peah. So again, it's a question of when does the chiyuv take hold, and and that will determine what the halacha is. So here, if the woman who's making the dough was makdish it to the temple, Achilo Gilgala. So she's got flour and she's got water, and she says, "I'm already makdish this to the temple." Okay,
Right.
so then the chiyuv of challah is not going to take effect. Okay, because because there's no chiyuv of challah on temple property.
Uh-huh. Right.
Okay, so now what's the situation is she was makdish the dough before she actually rolled it out, before she actually turned it into proper dough. Upadata, and then she decides, you know what, I'm actually going to redeem it. So she puts in the money plus an extra chomesh, and now it's back to chulin, and the money is now a hekdesh. Okay, then it's still chayiv because it hasn't yet reached the stage of gilgul. The chiyuv hasn't happened yet. So if she was makdish and immediately redeemed it, it's still chayiv in challah. Misha gilgalav, she made it into dough and then she was makdish and then she redeemed it. Still chayav bechala. It's still going to have chala taken off it because the chiyuv came about while it was chulin. Hikdishata ad shelo gilgala. If she was makdish it before she rolled it, the gilgala hagizbar. And it's not that the gizbar comes out to her house and rolls the dough. It's that she finished turning it into dough while it was theoretically in the possession of the temple treasurer. In other words, she was working with
Right.
hektish dough. Okay, and then afterwards, now it's been turned into dough. Now she redeems it. Petura shebishas chovasa haisa petura. So now that it's been redeemed, it doesn't have to have challah taken off it because at the time that the chiyuv of challah would have fallen, it was in the temple property, and that's already pater. So Mishnah Daled Kiyotze Bo Hamakdish Peirosav. So the same thing happens with the person's produce. Right? If he is makdishit ad shelo ba'al onas amasros, if he was makdish them before they became ripe,
Right.
upadan, and he redeemed them immediately, then when they become ripe, you still chayiv. Mishaba'al onas amasros, if he was makdish them after they became ripe, and then redeemed them, again chayivim. Okay. Hikdishan ad shelo nigbanu, if he, however, was makdish them while they were not ripe, ugemara nagizbar, and they ripened while they were while they had been declared hekdesh, va'achar kach padan, and then afterwards he redeems them peturin. They do not have to take jumas and masros because it was hekdesh at the time. Shibishas chobasan hayu peturin. Okay, same principle. So Gimel and Dalid are basically the same, and Dalid we saw already in Peah not so long ago.
Okay.
Nochri shenasan leYisrael lasos lo isa. Okay, so a non-Jew comes to a Jewish baker and says, "Here's my flour. Please, can you turn this into bread for me?" Okay, Petura min challah. So the Jewish baker has no chiyuv of challah on this because it belongs to a non-Jew, and he doesn't have a mitzvah of challah. So he can bake it all and give it back to the non-Jew without taking challah out of it. Nisana lo matana. Now, what happens if the non-Jew comes and says, "You know what? You're such a nice guy. I'm going to give you this as a gift for everything that you've done for me. Please keep it." Okay, well now it all depends on at what point in the process the non-Jew said to him, "This is now yours." Okay, ad shelo gilgel. If he gave it to him and said, "Here's some flour, it's all yours." Okay, chayav, because the chiyuv hasn't yet taken effect. Misha gilgel pater. But if he's already turned it into dough, then he's already pater. Okay, because so if it's now dough, anything from the dough stage onwards, the chiyuv already would have fallen, and since the chiyuv is trying to fall on something that belongs to the non-Jew, it doesn't fall. Okay. Ha'oseh isa im hanochri. Now, what happens if they're partners in this dough? They both put their flour together and say, "Let's bake everything together and split the proceeds 50-50." Okay. Im ein b'shel Yisrael kashir challah. So now you don't look at the total amount of the dough, you look at what is the Jew's portion. So if the Jew's portion is more than 5/4, then it's chayav in challah, and if not, then not. And that's it. Simple Mishnah for today.
Okay. We are at
Okay.
okay, Meister Sheni. Meister Sheni, we have Hey Yud Aleph. According to all your commandments which you have commanded me, however, if he separated Meister Sheni before Meister Rishon, he cannot make the confession. I have not transgressed your commandments. I did not separate from one kind for another kind, nor from the plucked for the unplucked, or from the unplucked for the plucked, or from the new for the old, or for the old for the new. And I have not forgotten, I did not forget to bless you to mention your name over it. I have not eaten it of my morning. I'm sorry, I have not eaten of it in my morning. However, if he did eat it in the morning, he cannot make the confession. Neither have I consumed any part of it when unclean. However, if he did separate from it when unclean, he cannot make the confession, not given of it for the dead. I have not brought for the coffin or for shrouds for the dead, nor have given it to other mourners. I have hearkened to the voice of the Lord my God. I have brought it to the chosen house. I have done according to all that you have commanded me. I rejoice and cause others to rejoice with it. Look down from your holy mountain from heaven. What have we? I'm sorry. Look down from the holy mountain from heaven. We have done what you imposed upon us. You also you have promised us. Look down from your holy mount habitation from heaven and bless your people Israel with sons and daughters in the land to which you have given us, with dew and rain, with the offspring of cattle, as you swore to our fathers, a land flowing with milk and honey, that it might impart flavor to the produce. Okay,
Okay.
1, 2, Maestros. Maestros Aleph Gimel. Carobs when they form dark spots, and they're all black when they form dark spots. Pears, pimpers, pimpers. What are those? Oh. Pears, pimpers, and quinces and crab apples when they become smooth, and all that are white when they become smooth, fenugreek when it is able to grow, grain, and olives when they have reached a third. And among vegetables, cucumbers, gourds, watermelons, cucumber melons, and apples and citrons are liable whether small or large, and which Shimon exempts the citrons when they are small. When bitter almonds are liable, the sweet ones are exempt. When sweet ones are liable, the bitter ones are exempt. Which is their threshing floor in regard to maestros? Cucumbers and gourds once their fringe is taken off, and if he does not remove it when they have been stacked. Melons when they are made smooth, and if he does not make them smooth when he lays them out to dry. Vegetables which are tied in bundles once they have been tied in bundles, if he does not tie them in bundles when he fills the vessel with them, and if he does not fill the vessel when he has gathered all he needs. A large basket when he covers it, and he does not cover it when he fills up the vessel, and if he does not fill up the vessel once he has gathered all he needs. One doesn't supply when he takes it to the market, but if he takes it home, he may eat of it a chance meal until he arrives at home. Okay.
Okay.
And
My last mission in Demai.
if one had 10 rows of 10 jars of wine each, and he declared one exterior row shall be miser, and it is not on which he must take 2 jars diagonally. Half of an exterior row shall be miser, and it is not on which he must take 4 jars from the 4 corners. One row shall be miser, and it is not known which he must take one diagonally. Half of one row shall be miser, and it is not known. He must take 2 rows diagonally. 1 jar shall be miser, and it is not known which he must take 5 from each jar.
Haja Nadach Maseches Demai. Kilayim.
Aleph, Aleph. Wheat and darnel are not colliding with one another. Barley, oats, spelt, and rye, beans and chickpeas, bitter peas and vetchling, white beans and kidney beans are not colliding with one with the other. Cucumber and cucumber melon are not colliding with one another. Rabbi Yehuda says colliding. Garden lettuce and wild lettuce, endives and wild endives, leek and wild leek, coriander and wild coriander, mustard and Egyptian mustard, or Egyptian gourd and bitter apple or bitter beans and carob are not colliding with one another. Turnip and radish, cabbage
No,
and
that's it. We're
cauliflower.
done. We're done. We've done two, but we did one
We
from.
did two because we had the other one. Okay, sorry.
No worries. Okay, Nagaim.
Um, good base. If a confined garment became mixed up with others, they are all tahor. If a confined garment was partially shredded, it is tahor and one attributed to benefit from it. If a confirmed garment became mixed up with others, they are all tameh. And if a confirmed tameh garment was partially shredded, it is tameh and one is prohibited to benefit from it. All houses become tameh from the gaim except those of Gentiles. Houses acquired from a Gentile should be exempt initially. A round house, a triangular house, a house built on a ship or a mast on 4 horizontal beams would not become tummy from the Gayim, but if it was 4 sided, even if it was 4 vertical pillars, it becomes tummy. A house that one of its sides is covered with marble or bedrock bricks or earth is tahor. A house that did not have stones, wood, or clay is with a neg appeared on it, and when they built it into stones, wood, and clay is tahor. Similarly, a nega that appeared on a garment was not 3 finger breadths by 3 finger breadths, and then he wove it to be 3 finger breadths by 3 finger breadths is tahor. The house does not become tummy from the gayim unless it contains stones, wood, and clay. And avos. Okay. Hey, base. Oh,
Hey,
no, no,
up actually.
I'm sorry. Rabbi Yehuda says, Tima says, behold, as a Nama, swift as an eagle, fast as a deer, and strong as a lion to do the will of your Father in heaven. They used to say the brazen face to Gehenna, the shame face to the Garden of Eden. May you build a will before you, Hashem our God, that you rebuild your city speedily in our days and grant us a share in your Torah. He would say a 5-year-old to study scriptures, 10-year-old to study Mishnah, a 30-year-old to observe the mitzvahs, a 15-year-old to study Talmud, an 18-year-old to go to the wedding canopy, a 20-year-old to chase, a 30-year-old for power, a 40-year-old for understanding, a 50-year-old for counsel, a 60-year-old for old age, a 70-year-old for ripe old age, an 80-year-old for strength, a 90-year-old to be stooped over, a 100-year-old as if he died and passed away and deceased from this world. Ben Bagbag says, delve into it and delve into it, for everything is contained in it, and with it you will see and grow old and wise with it. And do
Hey,
not steal.
that's it. We're up. Have Gimmel's
I,
for.
I went too far. Okay.
Okay. It's tempting because Raf Gimmel's so short. Uh,
Okay. And we are
Service.
okay. If, Vav, Aleph Vav. If one marries a woman and does not find any tokens of virginity, she says, "After you betrothed me, I was violated, and your misfortune caused it." And the other one says, "Not so. It happened before I betrothed you that my acquisition was made in error." Like Emil and Rabbi Eliezer said, she is believed. Rabbi Shua, however, says she is not believed. Rather, it is presumed that she was a non-virgin before she was betrothed, and that she misled him until she proves her claim. If she says, "I was injured by a piece of wood," and he says, "Not so, but you were deflowered by a man," then Gamil and Rabbi Eliezer said she is believed. If Yeshua, however, says she is not believed, rather it's assumed that she was deflowered by a man until she proves her claim. If they saw a woman talking with someone in the street, and they said to her, "What is the nature of this man?" and she said, replied, "He is so and so, he is a Kohen." Father Gamil and Rabbi Eliezer say she is believed. Rabbi Yeshua, however, says she is not believed. Rather, it is presumed that she had been intimate with a Nezonite or with a Mamzer until she proves her claim. Okay.
And we done.
Okay. Have a
Okay.
great day.
You
Enjoy.
too.
I'll see you tomorrow, Mr. Shem. Thank you. Bye.